students. Hi students, welcome back to my channel. My name is Krishna, your BBS trainer. Today I am going to explain about the footing reinforcement formulas, how to generate. Just I am showing in that Excel sheet what are the formulas are required for the respective cells. I have mentioned over here and with a color code. Here I am showing in the AutoCAD drawing. You see, this is the one project, complete footing details, isolated footing, combined footing, lift footing, and all other major footing details are given over here. These are the final footing details with footing schedules, isolated and few more combined footings. Schedule is given over here, and whatever the drawings is not possible to give the schedule, so detailed drawing is given over here. So now I am going to explain today. So I am taking one example of isolated footing F1. What is the size, and along with the color code I have prepared one section drawing along the longer span and shorter span, and how the reinforcement is placed over here, where the longer span rods and where the shorter span rods, and everything I have explained over here. You see, if you are taking the longer span rods will come in the top, and the shorter span rods will come in the bottom. If you are going to take the shorter span, so shorter span rod will come in the bottom and the longer span rod will come in the top, and the clear cover of 50 mm. Clear cover means from the face to the concrete surface is 50 mm. And these are the formulas we required to calculate the these two reinforcements. So here I have explained clearly, so you can see these formulas. The longer span rods, when you are taking the longer span number of rods, if you want to take, you have to take the shorter span length, because the rods are spaced in the shorter span towards. And when you are taking the shorter span rods, we have to take the longer span length, because the spacing is like that. When you are taking the spacing, the opposite direction we need to take, and we have to add +1 for the total numberings. Here the longer span rod is equal to B. B means shorter span length minus 2 times of this cover. Here one side cover means this side one cover and this side one cover, divided by this longer span spacing +1. This is the longer span rod. Longer span rod means 10 at 125. This is longer span rod spacing. When you are taking shorter span number of rods, so this is A. A means longer span length minus 2 times of this cover on this cover 1, divided by shorter span rod spacing +1. And similarly, bend allowance. Bend allowance is a one standard formula, pi into d into angle divided by 180. This is the standard bend allowance formula. So here we are having two bends. So one bend is over here and one bend is over here. Similarly for the shorter span also. So bend allowance BA is equal to 2 times of 2 bend into pi into d into angle divided by 180. Pi means it is a standard value, d is the dia of bar, angle is this angle of bend, divided by 180. Then you will get the bend allowance value. Then longer span cutting length and shorter span cutting length. So I am explaining longer span cutting length. So if you want to take this longer span cutting length means, so total A means width length of the footing plus 2 times of LD. LD means this is the LD which is given in the drawing. So either if it is given in the drawing, we have to take it, otherwise we have to take it as per the IS standard. So plus 2 times of LD, this is one LD, this is one LD, minus 2 times of cover, here one cover and here one cover, minus 2 times of d by 2. Why d by 2 means we should take the center line length of the reinforcement is the cutting length, because this center line, when you are taking the cutting length, we have to take this center line of this rod. That's why half of the dia of rod over here and half of the dia of the rod over here we need to deduct for the cutting length. That is the 2 times of half of the d minus 2 times of bend allowance. Here 1 times and here 1 times. This is the bend allowance, minus 2 into bend allowance, 2 times of bend allowance. Next, similarly for the shorter span, same formula for the shorter span. And number of rods, sorry, total length is equal to, so we have calculated the number of bars, respective number of rods into this cutting length, respective cutting length, divided by 1000. It will give the quantity in the meter. Then unit weight density is equal to d square divided by 162. All these formulas are I have tabulated in the Excel sheet, that is I have shown over here. So what are the inputs we need to enter over here, and what are the formulas to be entered over in the respective cells, I have given in detail. So please study these formulas and Excel sheets. You will learn immediately to calculate the BBS for the footing reinforcement. Once again I will explain. So this is the bottom mat. First line is the bottom mat quantity. So for the bottom mat, this is serial number. Serial number 1 means this is the F1 footing 1 number. We are calculating for the 1 number. If F1 is more than, if we are going to this drawing, if the number of F1 is more than 1, so how much F1 is there, that much F1 has to be entered over here. That is the number of items. Next, dia of the bar, bottom mat and top mat. You see, bottom mat means this is the shorter span rods, and top mat means longer span rod. So similarly, this is the bar shape. Bar shape means this is the bar shape we need to enter over in the shape of the bar, and here also the same shape of the bar has to be entered over here. This is for the study purpose we can enter it, but for the site level no one will enter each and every bar shape and all. It will take lot of time consuming to work for this. That's why this is for the understanding purpose, we can enter it over. In separate class I will teach you how to enter the shape of the bar over here. That one separate video I will upload. And you see, this is the bottom mat. Bottom mat will come in the shorter span. Shorter span is equal to 2000 mm and longer span is equal to 2200 mm. Then depth of the footing, D is equal to 550 mm. 550 mm entered over here. And clear cover is equal to 50 mm. This is the 50 mm entered over here. And spacing respectively, bottom mat, this bottom mat spacing is equal to 150 mm and top mat spacing is equal to 125 mm. And number of bends, these are here in longer span 2 bend and shorter span 2 bend. And angle of degree, 90 degree over here and 90 degree over here. And this is anchorage on both side, means LD. LD is equal to this, here 1 times and here 1 times. This is the LD. So angle of this is equal to 2 into 300 mm. So here 1 300 mm, here 1 300 mm. This is the anchorage length on both side. YAS 600 mm, we can give either, we can give 300 mm. This is the 300 mm because we have taken this LD of 2 LD over we have taken, because cutting length we have taken 2 LD. That's why we can write only 1 LD over here. And this anchorage length we can write not on both sides, we can write anchorage length in mm. You can write anchorage length in mm in the tabular column. Then this 300 mm, 300 mm. Next, number of bars. This is the number of bar calculation for the shorter span. This is the shorter span number of calculation formula. This is A. A means this is the longer span distance. Only in this formula, this is the only mismatching over here. When you are taking the shorter span, you have to take the longer span length, and you have to taking the longer span numbers, you have to take the shorter span length. This is the only this thing we need to perfectly enter in the while calculating the footing reinforcement. Okay, the same formula is entered over here and the same formula is entered over here. And bend allowance is BA is equal to pi into D into angle divided by 180. This is the one bend angle value formula. So here we are having two bends. One bend is over here and one bend is over here. That's why it is multiplied by two numbers. So similarly for the top mat also. The next is cutting length. So cutting length should be calculated as per this formula. Shorter span cutting length is equal to same shorter span length plus 2 times of LD minus 2 times of cover minus 2 into D by 2. D by 2. How this D by 2 means? I think I have explained again once again. So this is the D by 2. When we are taking the total length, we need to take the center to center of the reinforcement length. That's why here of D and here of D. So total 2 times of half of the dia we need to deduct to calculate the total length. The same formula is here. So the same formula to be followed for the shorter span also. Next is total length. Total length is equal to this number of rod multiplied by this cutting length divided by 1000, because we need to convert this total length into meter to calculate the unit weight. So similarly for the top mat also. This is the unit weight formula. Unit weight is equal to D square divided by 162. This is the D. D means the respective bottom mat and top mat. D has to be taken. D square divided by 162 for the top mat and bottom mat. And this is the dia wise bifurcation formula. This formula I have clearly explained in the last video. Just watch that last video for understanding this formula, how to enter. In this formula, if you want to know that, so here this is the formula I have entered over here for the 8 mm. So similarly, all this formula to be entered for the all column. Here this in this formula only variable is this 8 mm. I will show you in the formula this thing. Just watch over here what is the this thing. So for 8 mm, here it is showing 8 mm. If I am going to 10 mm column, this is the 10 mm column. If I am going to 10 mm column, here it is showing 10 mm. If I am going to 12 mm column, here it is showing 12 mm. Here I am going to 16 mm column, here it is showing 16 mm column. Rest D, P and Q is same for all the cells. So like that we have to calculate up to the 32 mm dia walls. Then similarly you have to press Ctrl D, then all this formula will come down. So thank you. I think you people are understood all these formulas. Please practice these formulas by taking this video and my previous video how to enter the formulas. Just practice this formula entering and all. Then I will explain you how to calculate this total number of all these footings, how to calculate, how to tabulate the results and all. I will explain you in the next video. Thank you friends. I think you people are liked my videos. Please subscribe. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe my this video and like and share with your friends and colleagues. They will also learn and practice. And one more thing I want to tell you, whoever are interested to practice these Excel sheets, I think people will not having these kind of drawings and all. Whoever are interested to learn with this material, please contact to this number. So I will share you the AutoCAD drawings and Excel sheets, wherever it is written all these materials. Then you people can practice over there.